When you get to the top of any organization, it's not really just about having a big vision. It's about making choices. And I mean the really hard choices, the kind that can literally define a company's future. So in this explainer, we're going to break down the art and maybe a little bit of the science behind high-stakes decision-making.
And listen, that's not some kind of exaggeration. It's the reality. Every single day, leaders are standing at a crossroads. Should we enter a new market? Launch a totally new product? Restructure the team? These aren't small things. They create massive ripple effects. And the pressure is just relentless. And let's be honest, you almost never have all the information you want.
That's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? Here's a hint. It's not about having some magic crystal ball. It's about having a compass. It's a framework for finding your way through that fog of uncertainty. And you know what's interesting? That whole journey, it doesn't start with the team or the data. It starts inside the leader's own mind.
Right. So before any action ever gets taken, there's this internal tug-of-war that every great leader has to figure out how to manage. It's all about balancing two really fundamental, and often competing, forces that shape every single strategic thought. And this is the core of it, right here. On one hand, you've got the hard data, the analytics, the spreadsheets. On the other, you've got that gut feeling, that intuition you've built up over years of experience. Now, the biggest mistake people make is thinking it's an either-or choice. It's not. The real magic happens in the blend, when you use data to inform your intuition and then use your intuition to poke holes in the data. And here's the second internal battle. Every single opportunity comes wrapped in risk. I mean, every one. A leader who's totally risk-averse, they just create stagnation. But a reckless one, well, that's a recipe for disaster. The real skill is not just seeing the risk, but being able to accurately weigh it against the potential reward. That sweet spot, that calculated balance, that's where strategic progress actually lives. Okay, so once that internal compass is calibrated, it's time to actually do something. It's time to act. But moving from that internal debate to an external action, that's where a lot of leaders get stuck. It takes a completely different set of skills. This is the moment of truth. Waiting for 100% certainty is a luxury you're just never going to have. The real test is making a committed choice when you've only got, say, 70% of the information you wish you had. And right at this point, there's a really dangerous trap just waiting for you.
Oh man, we've all seen this, right? Maybe we've even done it. You get stuck in this endless loop of meetings, always asking for just one more data point, tweaking the model again and again. It feels like you're being diligent, but what it really is a form of inaction. It's the absolute enemy of momentum.
So how do you break free from that paralysis trap? Well, this simple three-step framework is pretty much the key. First, you align with your values. Anchor your choice in what your organization truly stands for. That's your North Star. Second, you build trust through transparency. You explain the why behind the decision to your team. And finally, you act. You make the call with conviction.
Because let's be real, a decision is never the end of the story. It's really just the beginning. Every single choice you make sends these ripples out across the entire organization, and they affect everything from momentum all the way to your own credibility as a leader.
I mean, just think about it for a second. A clear, decisive action totally energizes a team. It gives them direction, it gives them purpose, it replaces all that confusion with clarity and creates this really powerful sense of forward motion. It's basically the fuel for progress. And the consequences between these two paths, they're just night and day. Strong decisions, they drive that momentum we talked about. They build trust, and they create a real, lasting impact. Poor decisions do the exact opposite. They create stagnation, they lead to a bunch of short-term fixes, and they chew away at the single most valuable asset any leader has, their credibility.
And you have to remember this, that erosion of credibility, it happens fast, super fast. You know that saying, trust is built in drops but lost in buckets? It's so true. A pattern of being indecisive makes it almost impossible to lead effectively. The stakes just could not be higher.
So, as we wrap this up, let's turn the focus back to you. It doesn't matter if you're leading a massive company or just a small project team. You are going to face a complex choice. So the real question is, how are you going to calibrate your internal compass, act with conviction, and create that positive ripple effect? What decision will you navigate next?